Oh, right. In this video, I'm going to step you through adding a page, which is basically content, and formatting that content. And basically the same principles apply to whether you add a page or a post. I'll do a brief other video for adding posts because there are some other options within that panel, but otherwise it's largely the same. So we're in our dashboard, we go to add a new page. And wait for that to come up here. Okay, so here we are. Your panel is going to look much like basically a really simplified Word document. And we have our title here. This is the title that'll show up at the top of the post. We have our SEO settings. Now, I'm using Studio Press Genesis theme framework. Whether you use that or a different theme, it doesn't matter. Some themes will have built-in SEO settings, and what this is the metadata that you're basically communicating with the search engines with. And the information you put here will actually show up in the search engine listing results generally. For sure the title, so whatever you want your title. 99.9% of the time, my title down here will be the same as my title here. And then you can write a custom description here. You can pull 160 characters or so from your article and put it here or write something unique. And this will show up as sort of the brief description in the search engine listings. If you want to hide a page from search engines, you just go here and you can apply no index. Now, the reason I jumped into this is if you're not using a Studio Press theme, which is just fine, if some other themes will have built-in SEO input options like this, they'll be very similar to this. And otherwise, if it doesn't, you're going to have to use a plugin. There are several SEO plugins. I do use All-in-One SEO. It's free, and you're going to have a panel just like this. So it's as simple as that. So let's get our text in here. And I have what I do is I order articles, I write them in Word, and then I always put them in a .text document. And basically what that does is it strips out any other coding that may be in wherever the source of where the document came from, whether it's from a writing service or a Word document. Put in a text so that it's just the text. We don't want any other code in there at all. And it just takes a second to do that. So now we have that. And I have it here. If you look here, we have these two tabs. We have a visual tab, which is how your article will appear online. Like you'll see the bold and all that, all right? If you go with text, this is the coded version. So once we get some HTML, we'll have some links and images and all that in here. You're going to start seeing the HTML code. So we'll get to that point. So we have our text in here. And what I have here is I have my paragraph. These I can create H tags with. So I usually, my subheadings, I'll create a heading 3 for my subheadings. We have 3. All right, and like I said, I'm building this site in real time. I've added some more content since the other video, but essentially you're going to get the full idea here. All right, the next what we want to do is we want to add a link. So I'm going to create a link right here to the home page. I can go up to the top here and grab the URL. You can get the URL anyway. So he's got to have the full URL, the HTTP and all of that. Go to that little link symbol there and put it in there. You can click to open a new window or not. I almost always will have it open in a new window, and we've created a link. To undo that link, you just break the chain. Now I want to add an image to this page. So what I do there is I go up. You're going to want to put your cursor wherever you want the image to appear. I'm going to actually align it on the right side, and we go to Add Media, Upload Files, and we'll grab that. Just takes a minute to load here. So there we are, we're loaded. Now I bought this image from depositphotos.com. It was I think 80 cents or $1, and I can input a separate title. So I could put there we go. We'll change that like that to real estate. Let's say agent. Some people really put a lot of their keywords in their images. I kind of put some of the seed keywords in there. but I don't overdo it. I really try to briefly describe what the image is about. So in this case, it's a real estate agent selling a home. Now we have how you display it. Okay, like I said, I'm going to set it to the right, but you can put it to the left, you can center it, or you can have none. I'm going to do right, and here is where you can input the size. So I'm going to keep it 300 in width, 199 in height. The reason for that is I don't want it to take up the full too much of the content space. My width is about 600 pixels wide. I don't want it too small either. So medium is good. And then we insert it, and that'll just take a second to come up. One thing that I do is if I don't do anything and just publish it with the photo like that, what's going to happen if somebody clicks on the photo, it's going to bring them to a big blank page with just the photo in it. That's where the photo is being stored. What I generally like to do is you don't have to do this, it's just what I do. I link the image to the page. I didn't grab the full URL here. Let me back up there. I'm doing this real time, so sorry about this. We're going to customize the URL here, and we're going to let's see what realtors do for you. Let's say BC. We're dealing with a British Columbia website here, so we'll just throw BC in there, and that will. There we go. So now I can grab the URL of this page, not of the home page. I want to do this page. So if somebody clicks on this image, they're going to stay on. Now, if you want to link the image to another page, you can put in a different URL here wherever you want that image to link to, and then you put that in there. Because I don't want this to open in a new window because I want to keep the person on the same page. I'll keep that not checked. So there we go. All right, so now we have our image on the right, and we've got a link put in. And let's say when you put this on the left, let's say we want to add a little bit of a margin around it so the text isn't too tight to it. You can go into that little box and go like that. So we've created 5-pixel vertical space margin and a 5-pixel horizontal. Now this little thing you may not have. That's because I've installed the TinyMC Advanced plugin, and in my plugin video I included that as one of the plugins I always I upload to my sites, because look at this, I can choose different font families if I like. That's another feature, and I have a table insertion option with that. So that plugin gives me these additional editing options in here, which you're not going to get by default. So that's why I use that, and I use it a lot. So we have our image, we have our links, we have our text, we've provided headlines. Let's say you wanted to create I won't have this part of the article, but if you wanted to create a list, this is really handy, and I use bullet points a lot. You have just the bullet point option or the numeric option, and there you go. But we'll take that out. One other thing I want to show you is you can input a table, and this is great. It's a fairly crude table. If you want a really nice looking table, you're probably gonna have to create it in graphics or look for a better table creation tool than this. This is pretty crude, but it does the job, and I use it quite a bit to display charts and that sort of thing. Cell padding, I usually like a 5. Cell spacing is 0 and border 1. And the reason you do that is if you put cell spacing, if you leave it blank, what's going to happen? You get this double line border around it. I don't like that. It took me forever to figure out how to do that. We'll go 500 wide. You can advance it, and you can do border colors and background colors, but we don't need that. And there we are. We've got our table, and we can input our text in there. We can customize the width of each particular cell. So we could go like that. So now it's 100. We can center that within. So I'm not going to go through every feature. The point is tables can be very, very handy. So with TinyMC Advanced, you're going to get this whole table. You can delete a column. You can delete where is that? Delete a row. You can add a row. You can add a column to the right, to the left. So lots of good features there, and we're going to delete that. So just to bring that to your attention. So our article is looking good here, and you can always go back and edit it, so that's no problem. You can make a page a child page. So I have a bunch of pages here, and you can see I've loaded a disclaimer and some other articles. Let's say I wanted to make this part of like a sub or a child article to a different article already page, sort of create like a silo effect. So you would do this if you had, let's say you had several categories on your website, and then you were going to have a whole bunch of articles pertaining to one category and a whole other articles pertaining to another category. You don't want to do the blog format with the posts and the way it's organized by categories and date of publishing, but rather more static pages. Then you could create your sub articles to a particular category or parent page, and you could indicate that there. So that's that reason. But we don't need a parent on this. These are just standalone articles. And our SEO, what we will do is we will just take that title. We will put this here. And for now, I would normally put a description in there, but I won't bother you with that. And we'll just take that first paragraph, use that as the meta description. You can put in keywords if you like. Apparently this search engines no longer consider that in terms of trying to figure out what your page is about. They go strictly off the title, meta description, and of course your content, your images, and all the rest of it. Now let me show you how to embed a video, because that's important. You might want to embed some YouTube videos, either yours or somebody else's. So let's jump over to YouTube and find a video. Alright, I did a quick search in YouTube here, and I'm just looking for any real estate. I'm not going to use this in the article. I've already found some YouTube videos I'll be using. Probably will ultimately create my own, but looks like this. I think her name is
Home Sweet Home
Barbara from Shark Tank. Yep, Barbara Corkin. And I watch that show once in a while. It's kind of fun, and we're going to share it. This is free, and this is totally legit. It wants videos on YouTube unless it's privatized, and there's an embed option. There it is. So here's the code we want to take. Okay, now notice this. The width is 640 and the height is 360. That's a bit of a problem for our site because my content width is about 580, 600 tops. So that's going to be too wide. So that's okay. We can fix that a number of ways. We can go with that, or we can narrow it down here to 560 like that. Or you can do it by hand. Once you put the code in there, you can just go in there and change those figures. But doing it here is easiest because it'll keep your proportions, the right proportions between height and width. So we copy that and we jump over to our video. Now, don't be in visual when you input the code. You see we're in visual, we want to go to our text. And now you can see where we're starting to get some of our HTML code. Like here we've got this link there and we've got our image code there. So if you don't know HTML, not a big deal. You can always work in editor, but you do want to get your YouTube code in there properly like that. And we have it there. We switch to visual. And there we have our video. Okay, so we are set for publishing this page, and we do that here. So our little spinning dial has completed, and we're ready to view it. Just click View Page, and that'll come up. I'm running a little bit slow here, so I'll just pause it, save you some time. There we are, and we have our page published. We've got our image, we've got our link, we've got our large headings. These might be a bit big. You can always switch to different H tags if you like. The other thing you can do is you can go into your CSS and actually change the way your H tags appear. So if you like using H2s and H3s mostly, but by default the theme is making them in a style you don't like, you can just go change that yourself. It takes a little bit of CSS understanding, but it's not that complicated. So we've got our whole article here. Here's our video, and it actually will play. There we go. And that's it. And our sidebar has already been configured. In another video, I cover the whole setting up sidebars and widgets, so don't worry about that. So we've got our page set up. Let's jump back here. And we've got our SEO. I always do a quick final scan before I'm done. This layout option, this is a StudioPress thing. Not all themes will offer you different layouts. Some will, some won't. Alright, that's adding a page. Hope you find that helpful. I didn't cover every single option here, but it's certainly enough to get a nice looking page or post added to your website.